Bulletin news you can use with your host, Marcus Jefferson.
Good evening. This is Marcus Jefferson, publisher of the Michigan Bulletin newspaper, and welcome to the Bulletin News. Today we're going to be discussing one of the things that I've enjoyed for the last 15 years, the Capital City Film Festival. It starts April 2nd and ends on April 12th. Myself, I've done several different things for the film festival over the years. I've bartended, I've watched movies, I've set at areas and just watched the same thing over and over and over again. Today I have Will and Emma with me, and I want you to tell a little bit about what you guys do with the film festival, and then we'll get into some of the nuts and bolts. And I also want to know what kind of passion you have for what area of this too.
Well, you really have done it all with the festival, haven't you? You've helped us in all the different ways. But I'm Emma Selby. I'm the festival event director for the Capital City Film Festival. What that means is I basically make sure that the event itself happens. And so I project manage our teams, and I plan our special events like our red carpet premiere party, make sure all of those special things are all good to go, run smoothly. So I kind of oversee the arm of the festival that's front of house, volunteers, vibes, to make sure that the spaces look cool and interesting. That's a lot of what I do. So lots of managing people and making sure everybody's on track, getting their stuff done.
And you, Will, give me a little bit about your background and what you do.
I'm Will Corbett, and I'm the program director for the Capital City Film Festival. So I'm overseeing the programming team that oversees the selection committee, which I think you've been on the selection committee. We're sending out films to Lansing folk, and then they judge the films and then makes it back up to the programming team, and then I'm kind of just managing the people watching all the films, which was really great because I've had to watch 500 films in one season, and it takes a toll. So we got that number shaved down, and it's more of a collaborative effort this year.
Mm-hmm. I noticed that over the years, and Emma, I don't know how you guys do this. I can remember just volunteering one week and being at 3 or 4 different venues, and then late at night there being music and something else going on in another venue, just to have so many things going on at so many different times and to have it run smoothly. Tell me how you pull that rabbit out of your hat.
A lot of work and a lot of people. But one of the things that we like about the festival generally is that it's not just about films or just about events or community. It's all of these things together. It's a big celebration of the arts that takes place over so many days and so many locations. We really want to infiltrate the city with the festival. So we have a planning team, a planning committee that is about 20 to 25 people, and they are kind of our core group who's getting everything done. So we've got people who are in charge of everything from the tech production to the music to the sound, how everything sounds in the theaters, to our volunteer coordinator and our front of house coordinator who's buying all the concessions, making sure everybody has plenty of snacks to eat. We've got just this incredible team of people who all really care about making cool things happen in the city that we all love so much. And so we, in terms of the actual planning process, we joke about like, oh, that's an off-season project, but truly there's really no off-season when it comes to the festival because there's always something.
It's getting shorter every year.
The off-season is shrinking, year by year, but really our full kickoff for the event itself when it comes to planning kind of starts late in the year, like November, December. We start meeting as a full team together once a week and just immediately starting on, okay, what venues do we want to be in? What does that look like? What ideas do we have from last year that we want to implement this year? And so the first month or two is a lot of just creative ideation and getting everybody together, all the energy from everyone to decide the types of things that we want to do for the year. And then, everybody has their own little areas and runs with the projects that they need, and we've got great volunteers who step in as well to help both leading up to the festival and during the event itself. So
I just want to say we've been doing that for 15 years, but we've only had a coordinator for 2 or 3 years, and so it just people would be doing all those things, unorganized, repeating tasks and all these things. And we'd always make the festival happen. But yeah, Emma does such a good job being the coordinator for it all. And you're the coordinator for the vibes, which is like, how do we literally make things for the to add liveliness and atmosphere to the spaces. So I just didn't want everyone to forget that.
A little decoration.
Like, yeah, you're coordinating yourself too, you know?
Well, actually, Will, I've got a question for you. Over the years, I've watched a lot of films, and I always wondered about the category. Matter of fact, I watched one film that made me not want to ever watch a film again.
I've seen some that do that.
But what I'm saying, what do we have, like categories? How many entries do we have? Give me some of that, the nuts and bolts.
Okay. So every year we get about like 500 films, and then the programming team cuts that into about like half of that number. So 250 then have to get sent to the selection committee, and then they just subjectively watch the films. They've all been like screened for just quality, and so every film that the selection committee sees, they just say, oh, I like that character, I like that about it, and then we end up from that number to about 100 or 150 films, and that's what's in the festival this year, is like about 150 films, and that's features and short films. The short films get put into blocks that we do categorize by like kind of the heaviness of the film, is what I saw when I became program director. Is we have comedies, we have kind of like medium, like it's about real life stories, so they're not overly heavy, but they're not, you know, they're not light necessarily. So that we called film imitates life. And then the heavier ones, we called them heavy hitters. This year we're calling them the tearjerker shorts.
Yeah, those ones are really gonna get you.
Yeah, they can you know, pack a punch. So they do range, and we've kind of categorized them to people's, like, it's kind of a way of, you don't really know what the films are going to be, but you can sort of choose what level of like emotional impact you're going to have.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, what do you consider a short film? One that's less than a half an hour, or less than 15 minutes, or well, how does that go?
I think our cutoff is at 40 or 45 or 50 minutes. So that was not a very, but it's one of those, you submit it, if it's to the second below or above that, it becomes a short film if it's shorter, or it's a feature film if it's longer. So we can have short feature-length films that are like around an hour, but then that 45, 50-minute mark indicates that it is, if it's shorter than that, it's a short film.
Yeah, we've kind of joked about it in the past that one of these days, if we get enough of them, we'll just have a mediums block too, you know, where you
that's cool.
Yeah, you know, you have your short films, and sometimes they're really short, like a couple of minutes, you know, and some of them do go up to that sort of 30, 35, 40 minutes. And we've talked before, you know, of course it's up to the programming team every year what that looks like, and the program director, but you know, one of these days I think we'll get a mediums block in there.
Yeah, we end up having like episodic content can get submitted, but it's kind of odd because you don't get to watch the next episode of whatever they submitted. So there's like questions of, okay, well, we could show a bunch of these episodic content things because they end up being 30 or 40 minutes, and they're pretty good. And we do have some of those. There's a film called Portraits of Poppy that was very much like kind of a pilot to a show, but it stands alone, so it can play as a short film in the Real Abilities block.
I want to talk a little bit about the nightlife and the opening. I don't know how many red carpets I've been to, but they're usually real elegant and it's real flashy, and I put on one of my tuxedos, and I always wonder how you guys get all that together, and is there a select list of people that you try to get there? Or how does that go? And is it sponsors, donors? You know, I know there's a whole lot of ways that you guys receive your money, but I know you got partnerships, you got sponsorships. You probably have just people who donate because they love film.
Yeah, we do. We have a lot of support from the community, from grants, from corporate sponsors, all kinds of things. And when it comes to the red carpet premiere party specifically, one of the best things about it is that, I mean, we're all biased, but the film festival is one of the best things that happens in Lansing, right? And when it comes to the red carpet premiere party, we want a space where all of our Lansing friends have an excuse to walk a red carpet, get all dressed up, have a professional photographer take their photos, have some really quality drinks and some really great appetizers, and just have a fancy night out on the town. It's not always something that we have as frequently here in the Lansing area, so we want to make sure that we're providing that. So we do invite all of our sponsors to come to the party. Anybody who has a Capital City Film Fest pass of any sort is able to come to the party for free with that pass. So our volunteers who are volunteering later in the festival come and show out. Our sponsors who've gotten sponsor passes for their support of the festival come. And then we really just we also encourage people to buy individual tickets to the party itself, because if you haven't been to the festival before, I think it's a really great introduction, because the festival has so many different components to it, so many types of things. And this year, our party is at the Central United Methodist Church on Capitol Avenue, right across from the Capitol building. And one of the fun things about it is a lot of people have been like, oh, we are having this party in a church? Like, what do you mean we're getting all dressed up to go to this Methodist church? But let me tell you, it will feel unrecognizable when you walk in there with the things that we do to it, because we want it to feel like the film festival no matter what the building is that we're in. So it's a great way to see how our team really puts in a lot of time to transform these locations into something new and fresh and inviting. And this year we have food from Tantai, the local Peruvian food, and it's going to be so good. We've got Sleepwalker Spirits doing some specialty cocktails that are going to be great. We've got Founders Long Drink and Josh Sellers as our sponsors for other alcohol. So we'll have a lot of options for people to just come hang out, party. Our good old friend John Beltran will be spinning all night, as he does for every red carpet premiere party. So we want it to be something where everybody in Lansing can feel comfortable to come and do something fun and fancy. And, we've got people who are coming straight from work in their business casual. We've got people who show up in jeans and their nice polos. And we've got people who come in ball gowns. And whatever you come in between is all fine with us. We just want you to come and have a good time.
Whatever you like.
Mm-hmm.
Huh?
There's also a lot of film programming aspects in the red carpet party this year, because we'll be playing experimental films throughout the venue, and there will be a room that is playing those films with the audio, so that you can immerse yourself in some experimental films, which is kind of a combination of some things that we've done before, but now it's like a subset of the red carpet party. I'm very excited about it.
And we're specifically calling it the Mood Chapel.
The Mood Chapel.
So there's a small little chapel. If you haven't ever been into the Central United Methodist Church, I recommend coming to this party just to explore that building, because it's so funky, it's so interesting, it's beautiful, and we're using a new space this year within the building that we are dubbing the Mood Chapel, because it's going to have some really fun experimental stuff playing, and it's going to be a mood.
Yeah, stuff that's kind of hard to have at a dedicated screening, because you're not sure how many tickets you can sell to like avant-garde, like just films. So the red carpet party is already happening, and then we have these awesome experimental films, so it was a great happenstance thing.
Now tell me this, Will. One year I remember a film being shown on one of the walls downtown. You may not have been around here, but that was something really unique.
As a drive-in or at the Comerica?
Yeah, it was like a drive-in.
Yeah. That was for the COVID times when we were still getting submissions, but we had to cancel the film festival. We ended up putting on some of the films that were submitted at the drive-in.
Yeah, because that it was kind of cool, because it was like the family could all come and enjoy the film. Now, what do you consider the big independent films that may be coming in that you guys will be showing at the different venues? Can you elaborate on that one a little bit?
I got a big one at the top of my head called Boys Go to Jupiter. It's one of the films on our last day, and it's an animated feature film in the style of like Adult Swim type stuff, and it's a very shiny kind of like it looks like the Kroger people, but it's really funny and it's really charming, and it's about these kids in Florida that the main character, he's trying to make money from a delivery, like a Grubhub style app, but he makes contact with aliens. So it doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but it doesn't matter to your brain when you're watching it because it's just so. It's like eye candy, and the story is so interesting, and the voice acting is so earnest. It's so charming. And
when it comes to the voice acting for that, you'll hear some familiar voices. Oh, yeah. You'll hear a ton of familiar voices in that. My personal favorite of that list is Sarah Sherman, who's currently on SNL. She lends her voice to that film along with a bunch of other really notable, fun people. So keep an ear out because you never know who you're going to hear.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Tell me, how many venues will you be at this year?
This year, we are in 5 total venues. 3 of them are dedicated specifically for films and parties, and those are the Central United Methodist Church, Stage 1 at Sycamore Creek Eastwood, up by Eastwood, and then Impression 5 Expansion, which used to be the Surveyors Museum, but it's that little building between Impression 5 and Riverwalk Theater down there. So those are our 3 main film screening venues, and then we've got a ton of programming happening at the Robin Theater in Riotown, and we've got some workshops, some music stuff happening there. It's going to be really great. We love partnering with Dylan at the Robin. We've got some really cool stuff planned there, and then we've also got some concerts and our after party at the Avenue.
Oh, the after party. Okay. I love the after party because usually there's a lot of fun going on there. To wrap this up, I want you guys to kind of tell me about if I were just somebody and I turned into this show and I said, how could I get more involved? You know, what if I wanted to sponsor, partner, volunteer, maybe just help set up a stage? Who would I contact and how would I do it?
Yeah, if you are interested in helping out with anything for the festival, you can go to ccff.co/volunteer, and it'll have all of the information there. You can put your email in, and then you will get info about all of the things we need help for. So whether that's signing up for shifts to work during the festival, or it's, schlepping stuff around before and afterward, getting everything everywhere, that's the best way to go. And if you haven't been a part of the festival before and you're just because we know it can be kind of intimidating to approach generally the festival just because there are so many aspects, so many locations, so many days. So people who are looking to volunteer, definitely check that out on our website. And you can also, if you're not sure how to attend, you can go to ccff.co/attend, and there's a bunch of different options there for you. You can purchase your all access pass for $50, which gets you into every single event for all 11 days. Or if you aren't really sure if that's exactly the route you want to do, most of our events are $5 at the door that you can just purchase a ticket to. All of our regular film screenings are. There's a few that are different, so that's why I recommend going to that attend page so you can see, because if anything is a different price, it'll tell you right there, and it'll have the link right there to pre-purchase your ticket. But all of our, pretty much everything we do has tickets available at the door too, so I encourage you to just come check it out, see what you like.
Sometimes people aren't shy. I was at Pablo's and someone they saw my shirt and then they tapped me on the shoulder. They were like sitting in a booth. She says, like, you work for Capital City Film Fest? I'm like, yeah. She says, how do I get a job with them? I'm like, So if you're watching this, all of that info.
Yeah, when it comes to, and that's another thing to point out, is that we are 95 to 99% volunteer run. Even the people who are our planning committee and our staff, really majority of it is volunteer work because we all just care about it so much. So if you're interested in getting involved, if you want a job with the festival, come volunteer with us. And then you can be involved with all of the fun things that happen.
So do they come to you if they want to watch films, or do they just go to the website?
Yeah, well, if you know the media center, I would say, yeah, come by and talk to us about getting involved if you want to specifically be a judge on the selection committee. I really love meeting the people that are going to be the judges, so that's a big thing with me is getting that conversation. So
kind of vet them, say, hey, come over to, what's the name, the media center? Where's that at? Is that at 318 Capitol Avenue?
318 North Capitol Avenue.
So you can come on over there and check out the facilities because there's some wonderful facilities here. As a matter of fact, I think it's like $50 a year to join and have access to all
residents,
this. Hey, I mean, that's a good deal.
Yep. And if you aren't exactly sure how you want to get plugged in, but you want to have a little more information, you can always email us at info@capitalcityfilmfest.com, and we'll point you to the right person.
Okay. And all that'll be on the show under the CG anyway.
That's me.
That's what Will's doing.
To put it there.
Yeah.
Exactly where his fingers are.
Well, that's it for our show today. I'd like to thank Will and Emma for coming in and telling us
thank
a
you.
little bit about the show. I always enjoy myself, and I always enjoy the opening night and the closing night. Plus those films like you're talking about. I like those little quirky films. But anything else you guys want to say before you sign off?
I don't think so. We just hope you come watch some movies with us. It's great to watch movies with your friends. So it's good to have a communal space for that. And we'll hope you come do it with us this April.
Yeah, I'm always at restaurants, I guess, for these stories. I was at Daily Bagel, and then I recommended the Film Fest, and this guy goes, I don't really like watching movies that much. I'm like, well, if you watch like the 6th movie you've ever seen at the film festival, I promise it's going to be the weirdest, most creative thing you've ever seen. But yeah, I just want to thank you for having us.
Oh, well, thank you guys for being here. And this is Marcus Jefferson, and we're trying to give you news that you can use and things to do around the community. And until we meet again, this is Marcus Jefferson saying, news you can use, Michigan Bulletin, Bulletin News. Thank you.
With your host, Marcus Jefferson. Bulletin. News you can use with your host, Marcus Jefferson.